this is K-State Club Baseball coming to you from Battle Creek. Are you ready for Suite 301? Yeah!
Good afternoon. Welcome to Suite 301. This is our monthly webcast where we go over the latest news and happenings of CollClubSports. My name is Craig Budzik, and I'm joined by
Rob Bell.
It's good to
the one, the only.
It's good to host with you this month.
Oh yeah, great to host with you. The pleasure's all mine, Budzik.
Absolutely. So, how you want to tell them how we?
Absolutely. So first off, we want to thank everyone again for doing the Suite 301 survey, choosing Budzik and I to host this. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with Budzik for this entire show, or maybe he's thinking the same thing about me. But don't forget to interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, and also in the chat box below. Send your comments or questions.
Absolutely. What's first on the agenda?
Looks like we'll be talking some softball, so we're gonna get Savannah here on the line.
Let's get talk some softball. You know, Rob, you look like you could be a good softball player.
Oh yeah.
You have that.
At least I could hit the ball.
Hello?
Savannah.
Hey.
It's Rob. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Here, I'm going to turn you up here. I don't think we can hear you very well. Go ahead. Try again.
Hello?
Sap.
There we go. Now I can hear you. Sorry about that. So, Savannah, I guess first off we'll start, National Club Softball Association. How are things looking? I know, I'm not really sure. Conference series, have they started up for the spring yet? How's everything looking?
Yes, absolutely. They've started. I mean, you can play softball in California and Florida in January. So we've actually been playing softball longer than they've been playing baseball. So quite a few weeks now we've been going. And you see that in the top 15 poll that came out yesterday. Florida and Florida State both getting recognition there because of their efforts this spring already. So definitely some mix-ups in the top 15 there, and looking forward to the next couple of weekends where we're actually going to have probably some conference winners decided within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So really excited there that it's happening so early in the spring.
Absolutely. And I know we kind of want to shift gears with you too, because not only being in charge of softball, you're also in charge of spring training. So I know Budzik has a few questions about spring training for you.
Yes, Seb. Unfortunately, I'm kind of bummed I'm not going to make it down this year, but
I know, it's so sad.
I know. I'm pretty bummed.
What are you doing?
I'm pretty bummed.
They're gonna hurt without you on the team.
I know. It's a big loss for the.
They need that bench coach.
Team.
They need that bench coach.
Rob has a lot of jokes today. So, anyways, let's talk softball spring training. What teams are attending so far, Sav, on the softball side?
Well, we've got the two big teams that I just mentioned that we're getting some love in the top 15, which would be Florida and Florida State are going to be there. And
nice.
then UCF is going to be down there as well, and they've been great. Wyoming's coming all the way from cross country, from the snow down to the Florida weather. They're really excited. And then SUNY Cortland's going to be making their first ever spring training.
Awesome.
So really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Hopefully you got great weather down there for the whole month.
Right.
Helps
and I
out.
randomly just got a call from John Hopkins this morning. They're super interested in coming down to spring training, so we're going to play around with the schedule and see if we can make that happen for them. Obviously, it's super last minute, but if we can get them in, we'd absolutely love to do it. So,
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that. If there are any changes, spring training teams will let you know.
Yeah. The more the merrier, right?
Absolutely. For baseball, we should totally full. Sorry about it.
So, is there any other news going on in the NCSA right now, Sav?
I don't know, not much. I mean, we talked about the top 15 that literally just came out yesterday, so that's exciting. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks. By the time we talk, next month on the show, it's very possible that we'll have some conference winners clinched and teams going to regional. So we'll be able to talk a lot more about that. So super exciting.
Crazy already. That is nuts. All right, Sav, that is it. Thanks for taking the time and talk to us about spring training and the NCSA.
Awesome. Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks, Savannah.
Bye.
Oh, all right. Budzik, looks like we have an NCSA caller, Amy Schaefer with Iowa State Club Softball.
They made an appearance in the Mid-America Regional last year.
Amy, this is Rob Bell with the National Club Softball Association. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, so I'm joined with Craig Budzik here. We're doing our Sweet 301 show. And I guess first off, would like to kind of ask you, I know you're currently the secretary for the team, correct?
Yes.
Also, you've been the president and the treasurer. I mean, I guess you've kind of had all of the roles of the team in the past 4 years.
Yeah, I'm like the last player that's around. I've been around for 4 years, so I've really covered all the bases. No pun intended. I've had to step up to a lot of roles, so I kind of handed over the big spots now and just kind of hanging out as secretary. But
Nice. And I know, obviously the spring season's upcoming. I'm pretty sure you guys probably have some terrible weather there still, and I mean, hopefully it's going to be breaking here soon. But, is there any series coming up, you're looking forward to? Any teams, is there any rivalries up there in the Mid-America Conference?
Well, we already played our big rival, Kansas, but we're looking forward to K-State and University of Central Missouri. We play them right in the beginning of April, and then looking past that, we have regionals, and we're really hoping to go to nationals this year. So I think our sights are more set on regionals than anything else.
Absolutely, and I know regionals is in Overland Park. That's my regional. I mean, do you think you guys are gonna be able to make it to that point? How's the team looking so far? And are you guys looking beyond regionals as well for this season?
Yeah, we're looking really good. We added some depth to our team staff this year, even this semester. We're really deep in every position, and that was probably we struggled with last year. So I really think we could go toe-to-toe with anyone, especially our regional's always been like a really competitive one. But I think we're all kind of starting to look at least past our first two series and into regionals and hopefully into nationals.
Absolutely. Craig, do you want to ask Amy a question?
Yeah, Amy, it's Craig Budzik here. You guys made it to the regionals last year because I was actually in charge of that conference, the Mid-America last year. Talk about Overland Park as just as a regional site and your experience there from last year and how that's going to help you, hopefully get to regionals this year and have a better outcome.
Oh, it was a blast last year. It was really nice. The fields are really nice. There's plenty of room. It kind of felt like a travel tournament, which is what I grew up playing, so I had a lot of fun with that. And, it was just a fun atmosphere, all the teams got along pretty well. We had spent a lot of time chit-chatting between games, so it was a really fun time, and we're hoping to go back this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we wish you the best of luck.
All right, Amy. We enjoyed your talk and talking about the team and your guys' outlook for the season. And again, appreciate it and thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you guys.
Take care.
See ya.
All right.
Iowa State
Club Softball. She's playing all the roles.
So, Rob, are you excited about hosting that regional this year?
I am. It was a pain in the butt trying to get a hotel. I guess there's a national club soccer tournament there. There's also a volleyball tournament. So I mean, it's been crazy to try to get hotels, but we're all set and ready to go.
It's a nice area. So let's shift gears a little bit.
Get some slack here. What's up, guys?
What's up, Eric? D2 baseball, NCPA.
Baseball. What's going on? You guys are doing great so far.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Hopefully I can spice it up a little bit for you.
Appreciate it.
You're either gonna ruin it or make it. One of the two.
Yeah. Do it good, one way or the other, hopefully.
So, Eric, how are things looking on the D2 side of the NCPA?
Games are just picking up again. D2, they could have played in the fall too if they wanted to and requested. So we did have a decent amount of games played in the fall. The season did start February 1st again, so we're kicking back into gear here. The big thing to take away, most teams haven't played yet in the fall, but the big thing that they're going to want to take away is your academic letters and registration online. You need those academic letters. You got to get cleared through the school eligibility-wise, and you got to register online so your rosters are good for your games when they do come up. So that's the big thing to take away. As far as games going on right now, our last poll came out last week, and Penn State is sitting up top, 299 points out of 300. So just 1 point missing. Anybody know where it came from, Budzik? Ohio State in the 2 spot, Akron in the 3 spot, A&M Corps Cadets in the 4 spot, who we're going to talk to in a little bit here, and and then St. Louis and VCU tied for 5th. These are available online, Facebook, Twitter, the website. So if you want to see the full results, go on there. Real quick on some standings, Penn State 6-0, Rowan 8-1, Loyola Maryland 8-1, Akron 5-0. These are just some of the leaders in the conferences. Obviously, there's a lot more. Windsor 9-0, brand new team this year, exciting. Minnesota 7-2, top District 5 North. Ohio State 5-0, who we talked about in the poll. So, I mean, it's exciting. A lot of the teams are coming back, energized and really excited for the spring season, and making the push for the district playoffs and hopefully make the World Series. So
yeah. Well, speaking of district playoffs, you guys have dates ironed out and locations and all that.
Yeah,
stuff?
We got 6 of the 8 ironed out. District 2 is going to be in Percival, Virginia, at Fireman's Field. It's a historic ballpark in Virginia. It's going to be first time there. It's going to be great. We're really excited about it. District 3, we're heading back to LaGrange in Georgia, the college down there, which you're very familiar with. We're very excited about that. District 4, Crossie's heading it up at University of Buffalo. We're excited about that first year there. District 5, we're going to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, which we've been there the last 3 or 4 years. So we know what to expect. We know it's great. So we're going back. District 6, we're in Huntingburg, Indiana, League Stadium. If you guys have ever seen A League of Their Own, it's that stadium.
Great movie.
Pretty cool.
Never seen it.
Well, you should. District 7 in Emeryville, Texas, Potter County Memorial Stadium, which is a beautiful stadium. Minor league teams have been there. Local colleges have been there. It sits 8,000 people, I think. It's got the big grandstands. It's a great field. First year there, we're excited.
Nice.
District 1 and District 8, I didn't mention, obviously, because it's not locked down yet. Be on the lookout for information in the future. I lost my voice there. In the future about that. So hopefully Dan can edit that out.
All right.
So
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Give me your national championship. National champion in D2.
That's tough. I don't know if I want to say anything.
Am I allowed to say mine?
Yeah, go for it.
University of Windsor.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Is there a reason you want them at the World Series?
I want to sing the Canadian national anthem at the World Series.
That was coming.
That's why I want them there.
Can you give us a little preview now?
No, I'm not giving you a preview.
Good, we don't want to
The
lose
entire office wants me to give you a preview right now, but I am not going to.
I don't, because I can hear you in my ears, and I don't want to hear that. So, and we'll lose a lot of viewers. So,
viewers.
But yeah, I don't really want to give one away because I don't want to be held liable for my pick at the end of the year. But I mean, it's hard to go against Penn State. They're there every year. Ohio State, they're on a mission after last year losing the EKU, who ended up winning the World Series. So they're on a mission. I mean, there's really good teams up in that top 15, top 20, and I mean, I think another 20 teams receive votes too. So I mean, it's wide open. We had I think 5 of the 8 teams from the World Series last year move up to D1. So only 3 returning World Series teams, plus a plethora of new teams thrown in there that nobody really knows about. So I mean, it's kind of hard to really take a guess at it. So I'm going to protect myself. I won't say anybody. So
it's very ethical of you.
Yeah, I'm very political of me to not say anybody. So
all right.
I'm disappointed in you, Eric.
I know it happens, but let's fill some dead time so Grassi doesn't have to edit too much of this out.
Anything else?
I know, NCBA wise, I know Zach with Pittsburgh is going to enter on the show here in a little bit. He's going to talk about spring training and Pitt. They're obviously very excited. They have their coach back, Rob Perkey, North Atlantic Regional Director. So, I mean, that's exciting. Something to look forward to later in the show. Yeah, spring training coming up. Hopefully this phone's going to ring any second here.
Any second.
Did you yell HTP? What a suck up you are.
At least you didn't hit puberty on set. My voice just gave out completely.
I'm still waiting for Rob to do it.
Grassi, it's not gonna happen.
You should do it
every day.
That's why I have this. It's the only reason.
You should do bloopers from this. Oh.
Looks like we're getting a call. Eric, who are we talking to?
We are talking to Calvin with Texas A&M Corps Cadets.
College Station.
Calvin.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? It's Eric with the NCBA.
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for taking time out of your day to call in the Sweet 301. We're excited to talk to you. We were just saying, the season's just getting back underway. Obviously, you guys played this past weekend. I believe you took a game from the D1 team down at A&M, who's typically a very established team. They've been to the World Series numerous amounts of times. Very good team. So that's obviously, as a D2 team, that's a nice feat in itself. Could you elaborate on the series a little bit? How you guys looked? Any takeaways from it?
We in the first game we ended up losing by the score of 7-3. Our starting pitcher struggled in the first 3 innings, but after that we held them scoreless. So I was happy about that. But if we can cut down on the runs scored in the first few innings, we would have probably been a little bit closer in that game. And then the second game we won 4-3. We had a freshman pitcher come in and pretty much shut them down for the most part. So that was really good to see that we've got a good arm in a freshman there. And then Sunday was just kind of play by committee, trying to see if we could win the series, but we didn't come close with that one. Had some injuries come up that were just weekend injuries. They kind of hurt our starting lineup, but it was definitely good to see the guys come out and put up a good performance against definitely a good team.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure it's more than just the win or losses at this point. It's about getting your feet wet, getting back on the field, getting the rust out, and I know that's a great opportunity for you guys, especially since you guys are at the same school. So, good for you guys. Let's look towards last year a little bit. 2 years ago, you guys, reached the pinnacle. You won the World Series down in Paducah, Kentucky, D2. Last year as the defending champ, did you, have any pressure? Did you feel like, feel differently going into the year or throughout the year or anything?
No, we usually play with no real weight on our backs or anything. Even looking at the weekly polls last week with us coming in at number 4, we really don't look at that. We don't really care about it. We just go out there and have fun, and we expect to win every game that we play. Going into last weekend, we were hoping to actually take the series against a Division I team for the first time in several years. So we came up short, but looking past the last year, we came up short definitely by not making it to the World Series. We only ended up losing 4 guys total off of our team from last year. So coming back this year, we believe our team is going to be very good.
Good, yeah. And about this team this year, you want to throw out any names, players to watch, how the team is looking. Obviously, we recapped your first series, but any big time players that you're going to lean on heavy this year for to get you guys success on and off the field.
Yeah, we have our starting third baseman and first baseman is Brian Borman, who was the National Player of the Week this week. He's a third-year starter for us. And then our shortstop is Trevor Burchett, third-year starter as well. Both of them on the World Series team. So we're going to definitely lean on their experience and their age to help us get through the year. And then we've got a sophomore outfielder and pitcher that was probably our number 1 pitcher last year that we're going to try to rely on heavily. But then we've also got a freshman, Brandon Latendre, who is he pitched against SFA in the fall at the Wood Wars tournament and ended up coming out of that game with a win of 11-1, and then ended up winning was the pitcher of record for the win against the A&M club team. So those are the 4 guys we're really going to be leaning on and looking for experience and confidence going into this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could take us into your conference a little bit, break down maybe some of the opponents that you're going to be facing, if you know anything about them, any rivalries or anything like that.
The biggest rivalry we have from past years is just with A&M in general is the TCU series. That's always a good series. But this year, I'm looking forward to the series against the Lone Star because they were the team that ended up taking the second, or giving us our second loss in regionals last year. They were the at-large bid. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. I know that they've created a D1 team, so I don't know how that will affect their team. But we're looking forward to that series. That's the second series we have coming up at the end of February. And then we have Lamar. Next weekend is our first district series. And then we've got TCU and Rice. Rice is our one away series this year. That's always a good game, good series to watch. But it's definitely going to be a challenge for us. Looking at the preseason brag sheets that everyone puts out, it looks like everyone's pretty confident, and we're hoping to come in and take care of business with what we know we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you do what you guys know you can do and should be doing, hopefully we'll be seeing you at the end of the year in Pittsburgh, Kansas at the D2 World Series. But, before you go, I want to thank you real quick for coming on the show, letting us in a little bit on A&M Corps Cadets, the program a little bit and expectations you guys have. So best of luck to you the rest of the season, and hopefully we'll be talking at the World Series in May.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Bye. All right, that was Calvin with Texas A&M Corps Cadets. Typically a powerhouse down there in D2, and expecting the same thing this year. So
it was a very informative interview. It was
good stuff.
A lot of info.
Good stuff.
So,
all right, guys. I think I'm out of here. I think Christian Smith will be up next with D1 Talk. So I'll see you guys later. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Attention CollClubSports teams, take advantage of the discounts offered through Rawlings for uniforms, apparel, and equipment all year long. With discounts up to 40% off, you can never go wrong. Contact Craig Budzik at CollClubSports.com for more info. Rawlings, the finest in the field. Okay, now I'm joined by the director of D1 baseball operations, the man of the hour, Christian Smith.
I'm the man of the hour.
You're the man of the hour. I like the new hairdo today. Looks good.
I didn't even put anything in it.
Looks
so
good. Looks good.
Just natural, I guess.
So let's talk the D1 side of
absolutely.
Baseball.
We are
D2.
Yep.
Time to go over D1.
We are officially in season right now.
Yeah.
So last weekend was the first official games of the year. Not a lot of teams other than the teams in the South and down in Southern California. Were really able to get to play, but there were some big series on the schedule. I believe Texas played Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech was highly ranked and took 2 out of 3 from them. ECU played Georgia, another big marquee matchup. ECU actually lost the first game and came back to take the series 1-2 out of 3. So we had some big games this week. Not a lot has been played, but obviously it's the first week in the season. We're in early February and there's not a lot of games. Like Pitt can't play right now. We got snow right now, fields are wet. So, but those teams down south, they're able to get some games in and things like that. So, just stay posted, look at the standings page, and keep up to date with all the games going on.
Exciting stuff. So, what should teams have on their to-do list right now?
Well, I think Eric kind of mentioned it when he was talking D2, but the big thing right now, if you don't have your academic eligibility letters in, that's a must to get those in. Start working on those. Have your players registering online. That's another important thing, because if you're playing without a roster, you win any games, they're going to be forfeits. So don't do that to yourself. If you have any questions, if this is the first time you're hearing about an academic eligibility letter, please contact me.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's an issue. So make sure that's in line. Other things, make sure we have non-conference games. If you're scheduling any non-conference games, you need to let the league know so that we can get those games online, so that we're making sure that you do have your roster online and you're following all NCBA rules and things like that. So those are the two big things to let us know on. If you are traveling, making sure to use our sponsors. We have Enterprise Rent-A-Car is now a sponsor. Yep. Book with them. You're going to be saving a lot. I believe you're not having to pay a 25 and under fee. Best Western, if you're staying overnight, there's Best Westerns all across the country. I think they're other than Choice Hotels, I think they're the next in line with the most locations. So at least look at how much it's going to cost you to stay there. So make sure you utilize our sponsors, because they, really help the league move along.
Yeah, especially with spring training coming up too.
Yes,
into that stuff.
Absolutely. But, that's going to be very exciting. Yeah, and you're not going.
I'm not going. You are.
I am. It's my first time, and it was before Savannah was here. That was last time.
It's been a while.
Shake off the rust when I get down there, but I'm excited about it.
All right. So
should we get Zach on? Let's get Zach. Zach from Pitt. The president. Come on closer.
All right.
Closer to me.
You good?
We good?
I got you.
How you doing, Zach?
Good. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Good. Like the
Zach Ettinger from. How we say the G? Say
there's no Ettinger. There's no G. Ettinger. It's like running. How do you say running? Right.
Runninger. Anyway, Zach, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
he's a Pitt. We're in Pitt, so it was easy for you to get over here.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about a little bit of last year. Last year, other than you being an All-American, was somewhat of a big disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were at regionals. I want to say you guys were the number 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
Coming in.
Yeah.
And championship day, you guys get double dipped by your arch rival, Penn State. I mean, this year, is there a chip on the guy's shoulder that, is there determination to get back to regionals and take that next step? Because you guys haven't been to the World Series.
We haven't been there since the year before I got here, 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely shows in the way that we've been practicing. We've been at it for 4 days a week for the past, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It definitely shows through in the way that we're practicing. And, having 2 coaches now, and Evan Fitzpatrick, who's been our head coach for the last 2 years, and having Rob Perkey back has been really big, and helping us, schedule our practices better and be more organized. And it's been, I would say, a really, really productive 5 weeks since we got back from winter break. And it definitely shows through. But we're looking forward to regionals, hopefully.
Okay, good. And you talked about Rob. He was your coach previously when you guys did get to the World Series down in Columbus. He's back now. What's it like to have a guy like him in the dugout? I mean, is it more confidence with the team and things like that?
Oh yeah, guys feel extremely comfortable now. Being able to talk to Rob. Rob's super knowledgeable on a lot of the hitting aspects, and Evan takes care of all the head coaching stuff and pitching, and he's just a huge resource, and Evan the same way, and it's definitely been able to help us get to the next level, and I really do feel like that. Good.
And you guys, you're a staple down at the spring training showcase. Talk about your experience. Let the viewers know if they're maybe a first time team going down, or a team that's maybe on the fence about maybe wanting to go. Kind of give your sales pitch as to why to get down there.
Yeah, I have guys ask every year, is it worth it? It's not a super cheap trip, right? But it's a pretty cheap way to get down to Florida, I would say. But I mean, there's something to be said about spending 9 consecutive days with your teammates, and it's awesome. And we definitely come out of there a better team, not only in a baseball sense, but in like an interpersonal sense. And the chemistry changes immensely. In those 9-10 days, you drive down 18 hours together in the same car. Something has to change at that point. But it's a fantastic week. We're getting to play 8 games this year.
Wow.
Which is phenomenal. Yeah, and the Enterprise thing saved us like 15% on our total trip cost, which is insane. So that was
a plug.
Perfect.
Hands pumped right now.
No, it's perfect. It really was.
Testimonial.
We had Avis before we switched over.
Yeah.
And we actually had booked with Avis already, and we saw the Enterprise thing come out. We switched over, and it saved us a ton of money. So that let us play some more games, and that's awesome.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, you book with Enterprise, you get to play more baseball.
I got you.
I mean, it's easy pick. Well, speaking of, after spring break, you don't have any conference games. I'm
before that, no.
Before that, so you jump into spring training, and then once you guys get back, I'm assuming you're going to be right into conference games. I mean, Penn State's always the team it seems like it's you two in that conference. Yeah. Are you familiar with the other teams? And I mean, obviously you are, but
we got one series in the fall. Our fall weather was a little not ideal.
Yeah.
So we got Cortland in the fall.
Okay.
We had to reschedule Brockport, so we're going up to Brockport actually Easter weekend. I'm really excited for that. As a matter of fact, brand new team that's done really well in D2 for the past few years. So that should be an exciting series. Brand new team that I've never seen. But I hear good things, and I expect good things from them. We have one buffer weekend kind of thing where we go play Penn State D2 out in State College. That's the first week after spring break.
And that's a good series, too.
Yeah, it's always, we played them last year. They beat us on a go-ahead home run that nicked the foul pole.
Oh, really?
but it's awesome. They're a good team. They're obviously a very good team. So, we're always looking forward to play them as well. So.
Well, good. I'm excited to see how you guys do. I mean, like I said before, you're always that team. It's you, Penn State, in that conference. So I'm excited to see how things shake out. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Craig, do you have anything else to add?
I'm not making my pick for the D2 World Series, if that's what you're asking.
No. So, as Christian mentioned, last year you guys were in the king seed of the regionals.
Yeah.
You had the king seed, and Penn State beat you twice.
The king seed. I've never heard that
either.
The king seed?
But that's what we are.
Okay.
Okay. That's what we were. Okay.
When you get to championship day, they're going to beat you twice. You're in the king seed.
Oh, okay.
But what's it going to take this year to ultimately, what's it going to take this year that you didn't have last year?
Yeah,
to win regionals and go to the World Series.
Yeah, if you look at the scores.
Because you want to get down to the quilt factory.
I want to get to the quilt factory.
Yeah.
That's what I really want.
I remember.
I don't care about Kentucky. It's just the quilts,
It's the national quilt. It's like
that's the big
all of the United
States. It's the big
States.
kahuna of quilts, right?
Yeah, and I know you're a big quilter. So.
No, if you look at the scores from regionals last year, and this will always stick out to me, like the scores are like 13-8, like 12-4. It's a ton of just high-scoring games, right?
Yep.
So I think what gets us over the hump, and what I do think we transformed this year was our pitching staff, and it's way better. Yeah. We consistently have a really good bullpen, and we kind of build our team. We talk about it, from day one. We're building our team for a World Series, and that regionals weekend is long. People underestimate how long 5 games is in 72 hours, right?
Yep.
So,
very long.
We transformed our rotation this year, and we're thinking about how we're developing our pitchers throughout the year a little differently. We've got a bunch of starting pitchers now who are ready to go, and I think that's what's going to get us over the hump. We filled out our lineup a little bit. We were carried by 4 or 5 guys. Got a couple transfers from NCAA schools.
Nice.
So helping to fill out our lineup a little bit. I'm hopeful. And I know Penn State's going to be good. Delaware obviously reloading. So
it's going to be exciting.
Tough conference.
Yeah.
It is.
Every year.
North Atlantic is a tough conference, and wish you good luck. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you making the trek out here.
Yeah.
I know as far. Do you got any class? Or are you done for the day?
Nah, it's fine. Fridays are off.
You're
We're
done?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
So you just did the Monday, Wednesdays, no Fridays, huh?
Yeah, no Fridays.
Nice.
Perfect.
That's
All
awesome.
right. Good stuff, man. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you guys.
See you, Zach.
Good to see you.
Is your team in the market for a new bat? Well, DeMarini is the official sponsor of the NCBA and the NCSA. Now is the time to take advantage on killer deals through your team's membership with bats that include BB Core, Fungos, and Wood. Call Rob Bell, DeMarini sponsor account manager, at 412-321-8440, extension 105.
Welcome back to Suite 301. Rob's back on set. I'm going to
Thank the
talk
Lord,
some.
right? Thank the Lord.
No, I'm not thanking. So we're going to talk basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on?
Little NCBA basketball. So things are great right now. Actually, we just had a top 15 poll come out yesterday. Michigan State stays on top for the second top 15 poll in a row. Basically, there was 4 teams that are now in the top 15 poll that weren't in last week. Just some teams that have not been in all year are University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and Drexel University. Teams that haven't been in the top 15 poll all year actually jumped in the top 15 poll. Ohio State's followed pretty closely behind Michigan State.
Are they number 2?
They are number 2, and then you got Georgetown at 3 and ECU at 4.
Defending.
They've been dropping. The teams are starting to play. And Ohio State and ECU are both undefeated in conference play.
Yeah.
ECU does have, I think, 1 loss to their record. So that's probably what the voters are looking at when it comes to that.
They got some tough conferences.
Absolutely. Couple of things too. We did basically add a skills competition to the national championship this year. So be on the lookout.
So explain.
So there's 3 competitions involved with the scales competition. There's going to be a 3-point shooting competition, an NCBBA obstacle course, much like the NBA obstacle course in the NBA All-Star Game, and then also there's going to be a slam dunk competition. So it should be great. I'm going to try to get some decent judges out for the slam dunk competition, try to hype it up a little bit, but definitely look out for the applications for those. They'll be available online. They can nominate themselves. They can nominate, one of their teammates or someone else in their conference.
Gotcha.
And then also we have, what else we have going on? Regionals. So there was actually a document set out a couple weeks ago about regionals. Basically what it is we have 4 regions playing in a regional. You have the Great Lakes, the North Atlantic, the South Atlantic, and then also the Mid-Atlantic are all playing in a regional. And then the Mid-America Conference and the New England Conference are basically if they win their conference, they're going to get the bid to the national championship. And then there's the 2 at-large bids, total of 8 teams.
Anybody in the NCAA.
Right. I mean, it could be from the same conference. 2 at-large bids from the Great Lakes, whatever.
And how is that going to be decided?
So basically, it's going to be decided. What your conference record is. Obviously, did you make it to regionals? When you were at regionals, what did you do at regionals? If you have any non-conference games, points against, everything.
Is there going to be kind of like a panel?
There is. There'll be a little bit of a panel that gets together. I know at least all in the office here, me, you, Dan Grossi, who's conference coordinator in Mid-Atlantic, and then Sandy, will kind of all get together and kind of put our heads together, and we'll get our kind of maybe top 3 or 4 that we think should be an at-large bid and kind of go from there.
Gotcha.
But I know that I did have a pleasure of going to a conference series last weekend
in West Virginia.
Down at West Virginia University. I got to go see the backyard brawl.
The backyard brawl. They should bring that back, huh?
Pitt at WVU. So it was exciting, and we actually do have one of the Pitt team reps here from over at the University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all Pitt today, so we're gonna have John here from Pitt. John, you want to join us here, sir? Sure. First off, John, let me thank you for coming on today and joining us for the show. So basically what I want to know is kind of talk to us about, the weekend at WVU. Was it everything it was hyped up to be with you guys? I mean, was the rivalry there? Was it not? Kind of give us a fill-in.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun going down to WVU. I had actually never been to the campus. We got a lot of weird stares and looks going in with our pick gear on. A lot of people just kind of scowling at us. It was pretty awesome. But no, the games went good. We went 1-2. The games are pretty even. I'd say they were toss-up. They're pretty well-matched teams, and it was a lot of fun. But it was good to get the conference games after we played Bryant and Stratton to get those next conference games down.
Yeah, and John, what I noticed a lot about you guys down at WVU is even though you guys don't have a necessarily separate coach from a player coach, as you guys, I feel like you move the ball really well. The motion offense is really there. Right. Can you kind of speak to that? How you guys do that at practice and kind of collaborate with each other to kind of keep everyone in sync, basically.
Right. Yeah. So not having a coach is kind of difficult. It throws a kind of interesting dynamic on things where it's not really a power struggle, but everybody kind of wants to put their own input in.
Right.
And so we've kind of taken input from everybody and built a couple different offenses, plays, inbounds plays, stuff like that, situational things where we have enough guys on the team who know basketball where we can make do with that. Where I think a lot of teams might struggle with that. I think it's actually a good thing for us.
Right. And now Connor's your president, obviously. And does he kind of take that leadership role? Is there, some upperclassman that kind of steps in and says, hey, if everyone's trying to put in their opinion at once and not trying to listen to each other and whatnot, who kind of basically steps forward and says, hey, this is, we have to listen to each other and kind of keep together?
Right. So I think Connor is probably the overpowering voice. He's the mediator.
Right.
But there's probably 3 or 4 guys on our team that everybody kind of understands, knows a lot about the game, and we respect their voices. So when they speak, it's like, all right, yeah, we listen to them.
Right.
And it's worked out well.
And now at a bigger school like Pitt, I mean, can you kind of talk to us about? I know a lot of schools are talking about we're a giant school and we have 150 guys at tryouts for basketball. I mean, you only field 5 guys for a basketball game.
Right.
What was kind of the deciding factor at tryouts? Kind of give us a little insight of what happened at tryouts this year to get down to that 15 mark.
So tryouts this year, we had around 30 or 40 guys, but we've actually had a lot of people afterwards contact us and say, are you guys still looking for people? And we've had to tell them, just come back next year. So I think next year we're going to have those type of numbers.
Right.
But this year it is hard to get down to 5, and I think we have 14 or 15 guys on our team, and that is a lot for a basketball team, to try to get everybody in and at least get everybody some playing time. So that is definitely difficult. But we do have about an 8 or 9 man rotation that we stick, pretty strictly to.
Absolutely. And I guess the last thing, I'll let Budzik ask a question here after I ask this question, but the national championship being in Pittsburgh, it's obviously very convenient for you guys.
Absolutely.
Almost being the home team per se. You guys and Robert Morris basically right here in Pittsburgh. Is there a drive obviously to get to that point to and to bring the Oakland Zoo to LaRoche College? I mean, can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Oh, we'd love to have the zoo at LaRoche, but no, definitely we want to get there. It's kind of hard because with club basketball and club sports, you don't really get to see the other teams unless you see them in person. It's not like you can film on them or you can see them online. So ignorance is bliss. We don't really know what the other competition is, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're pretty confident with our guys, and we think that if we make regionals and can advance, that we'll have a chance. So.
Absolutely. Buzzy, do you want to ask John a question here?
I guess my only question would be, is there any chance you guys can get a game in the Pete?
Oh, we've tried.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get some practice time. But if we could get a game at the Pete, that would be awesome. Even at the practice court in the back would be a lot of fun.
That's pretty sweet. And you guys are playing the rec center over there?
At Trees Hall.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Well, John, appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
Attention club basketball teams. Does your club basketball team need new uniforms? The National Club Basketball Association has partnered up with uniform sponsor McLean Sportswear. McLean offers top-of-the-line uniforms at an affordable cost. If your team is interested in ordering new uniforms, contact Jay Brantley with McLean Sportswear at 707-622-5336 or by email at sales@mclean.com. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Looks like we're joined by Sandy Sanderson, president of the NCFA. Sandy, how's it going?
Good, Rob. How are you guys doing today?
I'm wonderful.
We're doing good.
Wonderful.
It's Friday.
Believe it or not, it's a busy time of year for the National Club Football Association.
It was. It is. We just had the league meeting.
Absolutely.
Obviously here at the headquarters.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think we had 35 representatives from 15 teams in attendance.
Very well.
Including some potential new teams. Sent reps out here to come meet with us and talk details.
It was a very good meeting. So can you talk to us about the details?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The annual league meeting. First of all, it's very well attended. I really am impressed with how well the football teams do at getting their guys here to talk and open up the roundtable discussion on all things NCFA. We talk about the league in review. We talk about the past season, the good and the bad. We talk about what's coming up for the future. We talk about sponsorships, how we're doing with sponsors, how the sponsors are doing with us, because it is a two-way street to keep them involved. And then we get into this big elaborate portion of the meeting where we really hit on the critical issues that keep the league going, make the league better. And we spent probably 4 hours in roundtable talk about different league angles of the league that are in dire need of improvement or little tweaks that teams see that could make the league better, and as well as to point out areas that maybe things we're doing that the teams don't put value in. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's something we don't need to waste our time and money with. We put our efforts somewhere else. Yeah. So ultimately, when it comes to changes that affect the rule book, the NCFA rule book, those go onto a voting ballot that goes out to the member teams. So there were 3 items that went onto the voting ballot for this year. One is to create a roster minimum. We have a roster maximum of 60 players, but a couple teams were lobbying for us to set a minimum that, hey, to be in the league, you have to carry at least X number of players. Another item is to improve or to enhance our requirements in terms of medical personnel at the games. In the past, it's been you had to have an athletic trainer or an EMT present. A lot of guys were lobbying for the fact that in-game football injuries, an EMT is going to help you if you break your neck on the field, but he can't diagnose a sprained finger, a twisted ankle, things like that. Football athletic injuries, and he certainly is not. He or she wouldn't be trained to say, you're out for the game, or you can go back out there, you'll be fine. They're more of a life and death sort of situation. Yeah. So the teams were lobbying like, hey, let's change that requirement that there has to be a trainer there. One of the other good things I thought someone brought up is, hey, we can always dial 911 and get an EMT there in 5 minutes. You can't dial 411 and get a trainer there in 4 minutes. So that was another item. And then the other one was, there was some gray area as to the definition of professional football player. If you have pro experience, with so many semi-pro and quasi-pro football leagues out there, it's got a little cloudy as to, hey, where do we draw the line in terms of you can't play in the league and you can. Mm-hmm. So we did some stuff to vote on that to clarify that, and results should be released next week with updated rules.
Nice. So, Sandy, if I want to start a club football team, what are some pointers that I should be doing? How does a team get set up and start a club football team?
The number one thing I would do is, first of all, if you're out there listening, reach out to me. Let us know you're out there. One of the things we try to push teams to do is not reinvent the wheel. I mean, there's so many teams that have formed their program. We've been around, from football to baseball, softball to basketball. We've been around a lot of club sports. We know how to forecast roadblocks, and we want to help you avoid them, or solve your problems of getting over them. So make sure you reach out to me so that I can, help you through that process. Yeah. It is a tedious process, and one of the things that's tough is a lot goes into it before you step on a football field. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of lobbying. There's a lot of preparation, especially with football, because the schools are so concerned about liability and injuries and risk management, so to speak. So, you kind of really got to sell the school on, hey, it's going to be okay. Not only is this going to be good for the school, but the school's not going to be harmed by us having a club football team. A lot of schools don't see it that way and shut them down right from there. But more and more are opening their eyes to it, and it takes a dedicated student leader to put the time in, to put the preparation in, to put the school at ease with that idea of supporting club football. Obviously, it takes a lot of money. Equipment for football is expensive. It takes bodies. Basketball, you can survive. You could physically play a basketball game with 5 guys on your team. You need 11. You need twice that for
It'll
football.
Stink, but you could survive.
Well, but you could physically play the game. But in football, you need 11, and that's a struggle, considering there's 2 sides to the game, and they're generally 2 different people. So now you're talking you need 22-man roster minimum. It's getting those bodies together and putting equipment on them and traveling with them. Moving that many people around gets expensive. So it does become very cost intensive. So there's budget planning, things like that I like to work with a team on, and to create a budget plan over a series of years versus coming out of the gate with 3 uniforms, 60-man roster, buses to every road trip, 9-game schedule. Let's take the baby steps. Let's play 4 games, 1 uniform. Maybe we're going to take private cars. Let's show the university we can function. Now we'll start asking the university for money, because one of the things I tell guys that are starting their program, try to eliminate every reason for the school to say, no, you can't start your program. Whether it be liability, hey, we got liability insurance for you, we can cover you on there. Cost. Don't ask the school for any money. If you can put together a budget that requires 0 money from the school, then you've eliminated the opportunity for the school to say no because it's too expensive, right? No place to play, right? So some schools come back and say, hey, we've got so many club sports already, we don't have room to support your practices, your games. All right, well, let's work outside the school to find a high school rec field or something that you guys can work with. So it takes a lot, and it takes time, and what it takes is great leadership, because you have to be patient, you have to be diligent, and you have to continue. It's not like you can just work real hard for 2 weeks and it's done with. It takes working real hard for 15, 30 weeks, and so forth. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be done. It's been done.
It can be done, and it has been done. But I just saw we have, I guess, some breaking news on the NCFA front. Are
you allowed to release this?
It's out on Twitter, so it is official.
Facebook, so you want to share it with us?
University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill officially joined the NCFA today. Nice. So they're coming on board. Excited to have them back. A little bit of a surprise. A few weeks ago, I was not expecting. They weren't on our radar as a team coming on board for this year. So they popped up at the last minute and wanted to get involved. Had a nice conversation with the club sports director. He likes the direction that their student leadership is heading with their program, and they signed the paperwork and got their everything in line quickly, which is impressive as well. And they're official as of today. Nice. So with a little luck, maybe later on today we'll be back on Twitter announcing someone else now.
Wow.
So
stay tuned.
UNC Chapel Hill joins UNC Greensboro as the 2 new teams to the league for this coming season so far. But I'm hopeful that we're not done yet.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else on the NCFA side?
No, just it's our deadline is Monday at midnight for teams to either join or get their renewal paperwork in to renew their membership for next year. So, people are hammering me about schedules right now. It's like, hey, this is step one. And, as soon as step one's done, we go to realignment, which isn't as elaborate of a process it is realigning 280 baseball teams. Right. It'll take, an hour or two just to look at who's in the league and get them all realigned. Then we get into the schedule process. So it just takes a little bit of patience, but I expect by the end of next week we'll have conference schedules released.
Nice. Wow, exciting stuff. Never a dull moment.
Never, absolutely.
All right, well, thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
What are you guys going to talk about next?
I don't know. Probably going to end it off here.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I'm tired of sitting next to Budzik, so I'm trying to get out of here.
All right.
Well, we appreciate it, Sandy, and good luck with the rest of the day, and hopefully good news comes your way.
All right. Do you want me to leave so you can sign off? Okay,
please.
I will. All right, bye.
NCFA.
Yeah.
Well, Budzik, do you want to close it off here?
Yeah, let's close it off. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We obviously hope you guys enjoyed the show. To watch previous Suite 301 episodes, just go on the YouTube and type in CollClubSports Suite 301. And club baseball teams, make sure to get those academic letters in. Those are very important if you guys want to play. So get on that ASAP.
I'm going to add basketball teams. If you don't have your academic letter in, you better get it in too.
Basketball.
There's a few basketball teams that haven't played yet that need to get their academic letters in as well.
And softball. Too.
And softball. So all club sports out there, get your academic letters in.
All teams, get them in.
So everyone's sane around here. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, for the latest updates on all Cold Club sports, football, basketball, baseball, and softball. And the next episode will be coming to you from Tampa, Florida, with Dan Grossi and Eric Curator being your hosts.
Dan Grossi, a.k.a. Quentin Tarantino.
They probably can't beat our hosting job.
Absolutely not.
That's a wrap. And remember,
it's a game.
Have fun.